Good evening, folks. Welcome to another episode of the Second Age Show. My name is Strider, and here with me I have some very special guests. Hello, Nikki. Welcome to the Second Age Show.
Hey guys, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great having you in general around in any video, basically. But this one, I think it might be pretty cool to discuss with you. And besides Nikki, we have Hen.
Hello, everybody. Hi.
So Hen is our usual excitement levels are high. And always, as usual. And we
I'm
have
sober
Harry.
this time.
Perfect. Harry, what's up?
Hello. Yep, good to be here. I'll be behind the scenes again, but looking forward to hearing you guys discuss this. So have fun.
Yeah, so Harry will be behind the scenes, making sure this all runs smoothly and
pull on the strings.
Indeed. We'll just go into the first exclusive of the evening. Hen, do you want to share this one with us?
Sure. So ARONDIR will be present at the 2-episode battle in the Rings of Power Season 2 alongside Elrond whilst fighting Adar's army.
Oh my goodness. Right. What? Wait, did we know? Because I don't know anything. When you say the 2-episode battle, is this something you've talked about before? Is this like a leak that happened earlier?
The showrunner spoke about it, like publicly very early, I remember. And it's been, featured in our news, I think, a couple of times as well. There's a lot of drone footage of fighting, siege engines, bodies, that sort of stuff. So it's not like a big secret or anything.
Yeah, and they're fighting Adar's army.
Yes,
yes,
basically
that's what we gather. Yeah,
what should be happening? I don't think it's officially confirmed, but when you look at everything and you do the math, basically it's 99%. It's the 2-episode battle will be at the end of the season, the fall of Eregion.
I agree.
Supposed to happen, all that.
Is it going to be Eregion though, or is this going to be in Mordor?
The footage looks like Eregion, there's a lot of drone footage of it, and the battlements, they look like Eregion. They even have, this is, an aside, but they even have, Eregion in the show at least is surrounded by water, by rivers. It's on a river delta. So they drain that somehow, and you can see, dried up riverbed, crashed boats, stuff. So, I think it's very certainly Eregion.
Cool.
Yeah, because also presumably at this point in time, Mordor shouldn't yet be completely established, I suppose.
But
then again,
it's still,
the question of army coming over to Eregion means that there is an army happening. But anyway,
it's interesting that it's Adar's, but that's another discussion.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. That was my second question. Adar's army. I thought it was Sauron that was attacking.
Yeah, you're right. It's peculiar.
Maybe they joined forces.
Yeah, I think we kind of also came to a speculative conclusion that basically they will somehow in one way or another they will end up on the same side. Adar will join Sauron in some way. And basically be maybe the commander of his army or something like that, and then he will maybe be leading officially the. Yeah, let's hear.
Or Sauron will take the shape of Adar and become Adar.
It's possible he's a shapeshifter. So I hope not, because it sounds weird, but it's possible.
It was just a weird thought that I had.
Fair enough. It is absolutely possible that it could happen.
Absolutely, yeah.
But let's see. So we have Arondir here actually, which is Nikki, what do you think of Arondir getting all the way to Eregion and presumably Eregion? And fighting with Elrond, with all the elves, against the onslaught of the Orcish army?
Well, I think... Sorry, just a bit of noise behind me here. I think that, they're on the move because their home has been destroyed anyway. So It's just a matter of how. And if this battle happens at the very end, we will probably see his journey there and how he ends up there. So I guess it would make sense. That would be his next character development. His next leg is going to be him developing and meeting up with probably Elrond and his crew. You know, that sort of like more tying together several storylines, which makes sense. I think it's fine because I like Arondir and I like his storyline, and I think he is a probably one of my favorite elves of last season. So it'll be good to have him there, and it would make sense because he is a soldier elf and he is really good with battle. So he'd be an asset for them.
Yeah. You know, now that you say it, like, actually, I didn't think of it before, but actually it does kind of make sense that he would be up there because, you know, like, lore aside and all that, like, just talking specific, you know, strictly about the shows, you know, and what we have seen so far, he was a part of that company that was standing watch over Mordor or the lands that become Mordor or wherever. And they were stationed there by King Gil-galad. So if there are like things happening in the north, it makes sense for him to go there. Or now that I guess he's maybe the only elf that survived actually from that whole company or something.
Yeah.
Could be something like he sees what's happening there and he follows them, and then that's how he ends up there.
Aragorn.
Yeah.
Like from Two Towers.
Yeah.
It's also
so there are actually a few feasible options now that we've actually started discussing it. It makes more sense.
I also think, you know, the first person to have a confrontation of any sort to really see Adar for the first is Arondir in season 1. So, you know, if you were going to have somebody face off Adar in season 2, outside of Galadriel being the main character, the most logical person would be Arondir. So, you know,
that is
going for it. And as Nikki said, he's much more of an action hero than. I mean, I need to see, like, for instance, Robert Aramayo fighting as Elrond to really sort of buy it, because at the moment he doesn't come across as much of a fighter.
He seems very peaceful, doesn't he?
Yeah, like a diplomat. Yeah. Whereas Arondir,
when you think about it, like, because these two are characters, they're both two characters that aren't really, in theory, canon, because they were not mentioned by name anywhere. So by having these two fight and potentially one kill the other, or they kill each other, you're basically just eliminating two non-canon characters without having to rewrite canon, where either Sauron kills him or the elves, like, but I don't know. But then there's the other question of, why is it Adar's army and not Sauron's army? Is Adar Sauron, or is Adar working for Sauron, or is Adar working by himself still and trying to make another Mordor? What's happening here? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's a good point, though. I don't think they'll kill, certainly not both of them as of yet. I see at least one, if not both, of these characters like sticking around for a while. You know, otherwise they wouldn't have bothered. You know what I'm saying? But it does. But you are right in that it puts more tension into the proceedings, because, like, Galadriel, like, I mean, spoiler, she survives the 5 seasons. Everybody. She lives. Elrond too, by the way.
What?
Really? So whereas Arondir or Adar, there's more like potential tension there. Yeah, that's a good point.
And it's a good, safe way to play it without, like, offending the fandom that is very
the lore.
And the lore, without fully upsetting everything about the lore. They have, like, non-canon characters follow each other and build upon each other, and they have, like, both these characters are fantastic characters, and they both have things to teach each other in a way. Like, we saw it in season 1, how the connection between them is quite interesting, because Adar was once an elf, a tortured one, but he understands a lot of how the elves think. And a part of him is very diplomatic, I guess you can say. And then you have Arondir, who has so much anger, and he's so stoic, and he has all of these beliefs that could be changed, so it could go either way. I'm thinking, I'm seeing these characters growing, both, definitely I don't think Adar is going to be turned good, but he might have this moment of redemption maybe at some point, because sometimes you see
I don't
villains.
like it, but I think so, yes.
Yeah. And I find it enjoyable when a villain who is tormented like that suddenly has a redemption moment, because it's usually quite beautiful. Cheesy and very standard, but I like it.
But
but if it is set up properly, if you can see some clues or some seeds, this is pun intended, planted, ahead, why not? Yeah, it can be very good. It can be very powerful.
It has to be done properly, though, not the Game of Thrones sort of just flip the switch and turn off your humanity and just wipe out everyone kind of thing. But yeah.
I mean, like Arondir and Adar had that scene with the Alfirian seeds and talking about it, and and there's also the contrast between Arondir says that he was a grower before the wars and everything. So yeah, like it's a nice contrast. But any comments on maybe how Arondir would interact with Elrond? How do you see two of them, and how would they interact with each other?
I'm guessing he would fall into the ranks. So either he will follow Adar and then try to warn Elrond that they're coming, like something will happen, or he will end up joining in and fighting alongside somehow. Or if he gets there before, maybe because he's a skilled fighter, maybe he'll end up leading one of the battle groups in some way. I do feel like Elrond is quite diplomatic and peaceful and calm, whereas Arondir is kind of fiery. I don't know if they would end up getting along or not, but Elrond is still ranked higher than him in the Elven
for sure
hierarchy, so you'd have to listen. Like you listen to your elders, I guess. How old is Arondir compared to Elrond?
That's a good point. I don't think we know. And I don't.
I mean, I think they're at least around the same age, because
you know what? Let me look.
Arondir does, I think, say that he lived in Beleriand, like he was born in Beleriand, and both of them were born in Beleriand, basically. So they're at least around the same age.
Yeah.
Like at work, or Arondir maybe even a bit older, but. I honestly might even say that
I'm gonna try and go by their character descriptions. Elrond is Beldor, is played as early 20s, whereas Arondir character should seem mid 30s. So actually, so Arondir is played older. Whether that means that he's actually older is, I think. No, I have no idea, but he's
okay. But that is a good, because I do also read the two characters like that. Like if I had to compare them, I would say that it's. So I think it's.
But it does feel like he still feels like a worker. Like he feels like he's lower in rank just by the jobs that he's been given, the way that he is. Yeah, being
he's
treated.
The guy who is in the field doing the things.
Yeah, and they're
developed to be this leader at some point.
Yeah. Should we move on to the next one?
We should.
So regarding some interesting characters that could be interacting in similar scenes, so we heard recently that Nia Toli, or however it's pronounced, will play a human character named Astrid in the Rings of Power Season 2. So the second exclusive we have for tonight is that Arondir, Isildur, and Astrid will be in the same plotline and share scenes together for some of the season.
That makes sense, yeah.
Oh, is that the woman that we see in the picture with Isildur?
I think so, yeah. Yes,
where they're dramatically looking at
that actress, yeah.
Oh, maybe that picture is them seeing either Mordor or seeing the battle or seeing Adar's army moving. Yeah, they're like, oh, they're moving. We have to warn someone, And then all of them are like charging. Huh. Interesting.
Could be. Yeah.
All right.
I will say if it's a battle,
that's a good reading.
Isildur doesn't look very battle ready, but So
no, but this is
might be earlier.
We have to remember he was just injured. This is momentarily pretty much after probably we don't know actually, because if this is like the start of season 2 or if it's the end.
I'm assuming the battle is the end, surely. I mean, I don't see a way to start with a 2-episode big battle with a very disastrous ending, and sort of
pretty clear that it will.
Yeah, not
everything
and
points
having
towards the beginning at the end of the season.
Yeah, episode 7 and 8. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think so. The very big, honestly, it's kind of an issue, and I'm hoping very much that they will find the proper solution to this. Is how do we get to Sauron having an army? Because in the first season we have like a few hundred orcs at best. So I'm hoping we will get some sort of a time jump or something.
Yeah, and also ARONDIR apparently.
Yeah, it's sorely needed. Yeah, so I think this is a pretty good reading of the scene, Nikki. Like, if you look at it, I can definitely see this being the Isildur and Astrid seeing like, okay, there's a huge army marching north, like, okay, someone is in trouble. And then maybe ARONDIR being there, hearing it from them perhaps, and then being like, okay, I need to report to the north or something. But
either that or they see it from
how do we get to the army?
2
That's
sides,
the question.
Or someone saves someone, or they end up like finding each other beforehand, or there are quite a lot of options here.
But it's interesting, like, I guess they could all meet at Pelargir, perhaps. I think that's maybe the likeliest location where they would all meet, because that's if I remember, it's kind of blurry at this point, but Arondir and Bronwyn they mentioned Pelargir, right? Because the village
they're
going
there. Yeah,
they are going there. Yeah. So I guess it would make sense for Isildur and Astrid to go there as well. Maybe Astrid is from that, or who knows, like how they meet, who Astrid exactly is. But it makes sense that they would also go there, and then Arondir, Isildur, and Astrid would logically meet in.
My guess, and this is like, I purposely choose not to know about these leaks because as an actor, I don't want to know until they're actually out. But like, what if, like, Astrid finds Isildur as he is knocked out, picks him up, and she has this little cabin thing, and she nurses him back to health, and then
I think very likely, yes.
And
that
then
would be my guess.
They travel along together. They gradually fall in love, blah blah blah, and then there we have a love story. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing more of Isildur because I want to see his character grow into the hero that he is meant to be at some point, and then have his fall to darkness with the ring after.
I agree, yeah.
And he needs a bigger personality.
Yeah. And I think your description of I that would be my guess for what this character is, the function of the character is. I think definitely, yeah, that would be my bet.
I hope though that she doesn't end up being like a 2-dimensional character whose main purpose is to develop Isildur. Like, I hope that they stuff to do.
Absolutely.
Because, for example, I think Bronwyn was such a misused character because. At least in some ways,
Who?
Because
Bronwyn,
because she was represented as a healer, and then she ends up by the end of the 6 live action hours later, she's leading the whole village, and it's like, can we first establish her as who she is supposed to be, like a healer? Can we see her heal people? Can we see her, we saw her, her heal herself, basically. That's all, when she was wounded in the last or the second or the third to last episode. But we didn't really see her do that. So whatever Astrid is, like, as a profession of sorts, like, I hope that we get to see her, do things, like to have her own aspirations or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I'm just hoping, like, I think that's one of the traps where her character may end up being there to develop Isildur, and it'll be cool to see her as well.
Yeah,
but obviously Isildur is the big one here of all the characters mentioned.
Like build the characters because it makes them more interesting. They did have limited time. They had to establish quite a lot of people in the first season, so I'm guessing we'll see more of the people that are already established and watch them grow. But I'm hoping also the newer ones introduced will get the same chance because
I agree.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the world of Middle-earth grow and expand.
It is. I mean, one of my favorite characters in all Tolkien creation is Adar. Even though he is an original character, I think he really embodies really well the struggle, because even Tolkien himself had the I don't know how many versions of do orcs have a soul? Are they redeemable? Are they just mindless evil beasts? There's he had a lot of thoughts about them, and he didn't really reach the final conclusion. So to have Adar, who is a really quality character in my opinion, at least, he is very deep and
very interesting concept.
He's very interesting. So I hope we see more of that in all of them. Let's see good characters, quality characters in the show. Yeah. All right. So, do we have any final thoughts on this, or on the first one or the second exclusive? You'll find the link for our Discord in the description if you are not part of it already. So please join. Harry, do you want to add something?
No, I think
or just sign out or comment or something.
I think the fact that he's at the battle probably be exciting. Maybe just he'll be like the Legolas type figure.
I mean, he is.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Shield surfing.
I don't think we'll see a Legolas and Gimli style battle off between Elrond and Durin. I don't see that, but that would be interesting.
I hope not. Yeah.
That would be interesting. All right. Well, then we can wrap this up. Nikki, thank you very much for joining us tonight. It's a pleasure to have you on one of the second day shows.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, and Hen, thank you very much for
it's always fun
doing all the constructive criticism as always. Really cool, good theories from everyone, and thank you, Harry, for making all this possible, getting us all together, and doing all the technical background stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, and thanks, of course, to everyone just tuning in to Nerd Out with us. We're looking forward to hear your theories and thoughts on all of this or on the show and all that. As I said, you can also join us on Discord and write in 10-15 minutes after this show. We will also be having an AMA regarding this episode. We'll post it. We'll have an AMA on our Discord, so you can also join us there and chat with us about the exclusives. So until the next time, goodbye.